Malika, I also asked Stephen Curry what the plan was tonight, and he just turned around and looked at me and said, "Whoop that trick. That is our game plan."
Oh, my goodness. Taking their own catchphrase and putting it back. Thank you so much, Kendra. I really appreciate the time.
You know, one thing that I thought was beautiful in that game 3 was we were up 20 points. Ja Morant, I know what the conversation was when they huddled up. We've been here before. We know what it takes. Let's go out here and let's get back in this game and win the game. And Ja Morant came out playing like that. They were up 20 points. Ja started to go on his rampage and scoring every play. And I think he looked up like, wow, I'm starting to go crazy. He had a couple of those Ja layups that only Ja makes. And he looked up and they were down 25. And that was big for us because that was to show them this isn't the Minnesota Timberwolves. You're no longer playing that team. This is the Golden State Warriors. This is championship level basketball. This is how we do it.
So, now that we got all that out of the way, there's no there's nothing to break down. I mean, with a game like that, there is absolutely nothing to break down. There's nothing to break down. The Warriors just sucked at basketball for 48 whole minutes. For 48 American minutes, they sucked at basketball. So, but it wasn't always like that. I don't have the clips here yet because the game just ended. It wasn't always like that. The game started out with them making every three. And that was about the extent, that was what I thought would be the extent of what would happen. They would make all their threes like they did in game 3, and then we would come back and punch them in the mouth. And then we just kept giving them free possessions. We had 14 turnovers in the first half. We had 9 of them in the second quarter, which, by the way, I'm about to show you guys the stretch that pretty much ended the game. It starts with this. Now, Draymond, I love Draymond to death. The game ended when this happened. Because if we go down here, Jordan Poole lost the ball, turnover, which, did this result in a... No, this was when they got like 5 offensive rebounds or something. So, Jordan Poole gets subbed out. I don't know what I just watched either. All right, so let's look at. All right, so Jordan Poole lost ball, turnover. Draymond Green bad pass out of bounds, turnover. Draymond Green lost ball turnover. Kevon Looney bad pass turnover. Draymond Green bad pass turnover. Jordan Poole blocked. Steph Curry steps out of bounds turnover. Draymond Green offensive foul turnover. And then, yeah. And pretty much all of these resulted in points. So you think, what, like 6 turnovers in the last 6 minutes of the quarter? About a turnover per minute? Yeah, that'll do it. And then they just they just kept doing it. Third quarter. Miss, foul, miss, turnover, layup, 3-pointer, block, foul, blocked. Bad pass. Lost ball. And then everybody was out of the game at this point. I was streaming until about, it was about here. When Tyus Jones hit the 3 to give them a 44-point lead. This was when I ended. And then they still kept going after that. They went up by 52 points. Actually, no, they went up by 55. 119-64 was the biggest lead of the game. They led a playoff basketball game by 55 points. That game was awful. I don't even have a word to describe that game. That's how bad it was. I wish I had the turnovers here, but this isn't going to be here for like another, I don't know, like 30 minutes. And I don't plan on streaming that long. I just wanted to get on here real quick and let y'all know that I am still, I'm still here. I didn't like end it or anything like that. Imagine those courtside Warriors fans. Probably one of the worst days of their life. Imagine spending $3,000 on courtside tickets to watch your team lose by 60 points. I have to go to school tomorrow. I feel bad for the people that are overseas and they stay up until 2 a.m. to watch the games. Yeah. So Stephen Curry, 4 for 10. That's a whoop that trick performance. 14 points. Klay Thompson actually played well today, but it didn't even matter. That's the crazy part. Klay Thompson actually shot well for one game in the series. We lost by 50. Draymond Green had 5 turnovers. 5 turnovers, but really this should be 7, 8, or 9 because there were instances where he passed the ball to somebody and it was an awful pass. So they caught it for a split second, but then they lost it. So it would be a turnover for them. So Draymond Green realistically had 7 or 8 turnovers. What was the score? It was 134 to 95. We lost a playoff game by 39 points. We're the frickin' 08 Lakers or something. But even the 08 Lakers didn't go down by 60 points in that game. Steph hasn't been performing well in the 3. Yeah. Desmond Bane finally had a good game. He shot 6 for 12. He was plus 46. This actually ties an NBA record for highest plus minus in a playoff game. Tyus Jones was plus 39. Jaren Jackson was plus 42. Dylan Brooks was plus 38. Warriors as a team had 22 turnovers, and most of them came in like the first 27 minutes of the game. The whoop that trick game. I was half expecting Memphis to win this game, but obviously not like this. Steph's plus minus, it was minus 37. This is embarrassing basketball. I put the channel posts up like this is actually impressive. Like do you know how hard it is to go down by 60 points in a playoff game? Like you have to try to do that. It's 3 words. Oh my goodness. Oh my lord. We should have won it. Who had the highest plus minus? Desmond Bain with plus 46. He tied an NBA record for highest plus minus in a game. And then on the other side, Klay Thompson had minus 45. That ties the record for lowest plus minus in a playoff game. Without Ja is just embarrassing. Yeah. They're a much better team without Ja. Like we know this, but that's not an excuse. That can't happen. Was that the real score? Yes. I don't know if you saw earlier, but the score was 119 to what was it? 119 to 64 at one point. The Golden State Warriors were down by 55 points in a playoff game. They lost every single quarter except for the fourth quarter when Memphis didn't care anymore because they were up by 50. Get ready for Game 6 Klay. Anyway, 38, 39, 42. Biggest lead 55. The Warriors did not have a lead the entire game. They were awful from the start. We're losing by 80 to the Suns if this happens again. Yeah, and what I didn't even mention is that we had 22 turnovers. And most of them were plays where, how do I explain it? They're unforced turnovers. Like, we're just doing stupid stuff. Like, we're throwing passes that aren't there, which is something that the Warriors consistently do, even, during the KD years. But tonight, it was just egregious. We'll look at these turnovers real quick, and then we'll, I don't know, I guess head out. Because I don't have anything to break down. So this was an offensive foul on Klay. There was a stretch where they had, I think, 4 turnovers in a row. That was just a dumb take. Then this was a bad pass. Fire Mike Brown. I saw there are a bunch of people saying that Sacramento Kings are watching this game and they're firing him on the spot before he even coaches them. There has to be some way to stop giving them easy points. It's not throwing passes like this. Like, Kyle Anderson is in the passing lane. like that's just a bad. Jordan Poole was extremely bad today because he just looked like he didn't have any sort of rhythm, and he was trying to create his own rhythm, and it just didn't work out. This is Clay just... That's a... Dude, how do you even do this? He catches the ball, and then he hops backwards. What time is the next game? I don't know. I think it's on... I'm looking at Mustang stuff. Don't worry about that. I think that I think it's on Saturday. I could be wrong. No, it's on Friday. Okay. So next game is on Friday. It's at 10 or at 7 again. So same time as tonight. Actually, it's 30 minutes later than tonight on Friday. Pool party got invaded by the bear. See, like, this is what I mean. He's like trying way too hard to like make something out of nothing. And this is still only a 10-point game at this point. That was 12. I think this was the stretch where we had like 4 turnovers in a row. I can't even see. Andrew Wiggins is just... What is going on over here? What was that? And is this the start of the Draymond section? No, this is still the Jordan Poole. That's... This turnover was terrible. It's like, what? And this is another Draymond turnover. He just couldn't catch the ball. That was a turnover for Steph, though. Even though it's Draymond's fault because he couldn't catch a bounce pass. I don't even know what happened here. Oh, Steph just stopped. He was going to fake and go back. And then there was this turnover, which is also egregious. Why are we playing Damian Lee so much? He hasn't been as bad in these playoffs. I will say that. So I'm not thinking too much about that. That was when he stepped out of bounds. Okay, so this was Draymond. I don't know about that, but either way, that's a turnover. There's that there's that stupid over the head pass that I will complain about until the end of time. Because he did like 50% of these passes are just straight turnovers. I don't know why he keeps doing this.
Another update from Jared. Yeah, so it's right foot soreness that's going to keep Otto Porter out for the remainder of this game. Remember, Ian, they've been trying to manage his minutes all season long. His father's name on it and be able to honor and remember their father forever.
And then I was so checked out at this point in the game, I don't even remember these. I can't wait to see Flight's reaction. Okay, so I wasn't watching, so these are new to me. That's what? Tyus is in the passing lane. That's a that's a corner pass to Kuminga. And even then, Steven Adams might have picked that off.
It seems like it to take the next step. Now this series is long from over with, but the response that you talked about shows a level of maturity.
Like,
Focus was there.
none of these are just like, I'd say like 90% of these turnovers are just us. Like, they're not even really doing that much. They're just like, what? Is a smart guy for not watching the second half. When Tyus hit the 3 to go up, that was a good strip. When Tyus hit the 3 to go up 100 to 56, that's when I turned it off.
Luke only having 1 assist, which means that nobody was making baskets. I mean, that's just what that is.
Jaren Jackson has gotten himself into that conversation.
Yes, yes. We saw it on display tonight on the 2 when he came and helped off the baseline.
Was Steve Kerr there? No, I don't think he can. I don't think he's allowed to be. Or I think he's allowed to be. He just didn't travel. Okay, so either way, the Warriors are up 3-2. They didn't have a bad shooting night. They shot 45%, but the problem is that Memphis shot 19 more shots than them because they gave them 22 free possessions. Just accept the fact the NBA is rigged. Hire Lick coach for Game 6. So yeah, that's a game that I'm very confused about, because everything that we just saw are things that we've been seeing for like 7 years now. But it was just at an all-time high tonight. And there was no adjustments. There was hardly any timeouts during the Memphis runs. It was just a very bad basketball game. So anyway, the Warriors are now up 3-2. They are now 2 losses away from blowing a 3-1 lead. But the hope is that it stops here, because if the Grizzlies win Game 6, I have no idea what is going to happen in the 7th game of this NBA playoff series. Like, if this goes to Game 7, we legitimately might be cooked. So, can we not go to Game 7? Realistically, we should have swept this series, but we were stupid in Game 2 as well. And we lost at the very end. Ja's 47 also, was a factor in the win, or the Grizzlies win, but it was also Golden State just doing stupid stuff once again. We should have swept this team. And now we're going to a Game 6. So anyway, that's about it. That's about all I have to say. So Game 6 stream on Twitch, the Draymond Green show, is going to be good. I hope he records a podcast episode. I hope, like, through the midst of all this, all of this that's going on right now, I hope that he focuses all of his attention on recording a podcast episode. I do. I want to see it. I want to see what he's thinking. But Game 7 stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/DoubleDWorth. Did I say Game 6 or Game 7? Game 6 stream on Twitch. Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern.